Gen Z. On the one hand, $143 billion in purchasing power. On the other, crippling financial anxiety. So, what does it take to get Gen Z to buy, and what can brands do to earn the respect and loyalty of this generation? Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Gatesman's Gen Z Reframed video series, where we're sharing out results from our recent research study to help you better understand the Gen Z mindset and learn insights and tips to help you better market to this important audience. I'm Susan English, Director of Strategic Communications at Gatesman, and with this video, we're cutting right to the chase for marketers by exploring purchasing behavior. Obviously an important area for many marketers, and a lot of interesting trends making headlines. Let's quickly review the top trends, which we also shared with our focus group participants. What we're seeing in the research is that Gen Z are deal hunters. In fact, 80% will wait for an item to go on sale before buying it, in keeping with their frugal mindsets. They also prefer access over ownership. This is not surprising given they've grown up taking advantage of car riding services, video streaming, and more. They also call on brands to take a stand by choosing specific topics or causes that make sense for the brand and have a point of view, but also for them to back up words with consistent action. And finally, they still appreciate the omni-channel experience. So, how did Gen Z respond to these trends? Our Zers agreed 100% that they are thriftier than other generations, but their motivation isn't just saving money. It often reflects their values, such as sustainability. Let's take a listen.
No, yeah, it's just more sustainable too. I feel like that's like a big part of our generation is being like more sustainable and more aware of our buying habits. So like you were saying, like if instead of ordering from the Champion site and then having the emissions from a delivery truck come here, like I'll instead walk to Target and get that deal, or like walk to the thrift store, like something like that. Like being conscious of sustainability in that way too.
It makes me feel good. It's like, wow, I saved money, I have. And also when it comes to thrifting, like, I don't know, I feel like you can find really unique pieces because it's like, oh, well, they're not being mass produced. It's like, oh, I've never found these cool pair of jeans. Most likely the girl in my like calculus class isn't gonna have the same pair of jeans. Like,
well, I was just telling him I bought an Apple Watch from, I think it's called Fact Market. And it's like a refurbished base for Apple products, for any type of product. And I was like, I don't really want this watch, but I want to try it out. And it was like $150 or something. And I didn't want to pay the $220 or $250 at Target, so I was like, let's just try it out. And to this day, I don't really use it, so I'm happy I didn't spend too much money on it. But I did not go to the Apple first. I did not go to Target first. I looked up, like, where can I get, like, good quality. I mean, it's a little bit more work, because I had to look up the website and see if it's, like, a scam, or if people, like, actually really did enjoy the product, and it checked out. Works fine.
So secondhand shopping clearly offers Zers all the feels, including doing right by the environment, enjoying unique finds, and of course saving money. They also clarified that they are not so frugal on everything. They are selective bargain shoppers. Food, beauty, and healthcare, anything they deem important for mental health, were areas where they were willing to spend more. Our Zers also noted that in-person shopping's still important. Despite being adept at researching costs online, Zers still love in-person shopping to confirm sizes and textures and avoid the hassle of returns. They're aware of how easy it is to make impulse purchases online and prefer the tangible experience of buying in person, at least for some items. Some also enjoy making shopping social when they can. Our Zers also agreed with the research that they are comfortable with access for higher ticket items, such as housing and cars, because of the extra costs that owning entails, such as insurance and maintenance. They also said taking Ubers or renting an apartment gives them less anxiety than committing to owning a high ticket item. So what does all this mean for marketers? First, consider revisiting sales, discounts, and loyalty programs to appeal to bargain shoppers, but also consider secondhand markets when possible. You just heard how comfortable Gen Z is there, so that trend is likely to continue. And keep in mind the omni-channel experience. Next, recognize that it's important to have consistent brand positioning and messaging across all channels and purchase points, including in-store. And finally, if your offering can be positioned as a form of self-care to support mental health, you may want to lean into that connection. Okay, so that's the basics of selling, but what about overall brand expectations? Our Zers had opinions.
And people don't realize that like branding and like going towards like the societal goals now, like it's such a huge thing. It's a big impact.
If you are like promoting something on the front and then like down in your supply chain is like some like news article comes out about some like super exploitative processes or something, it's just like, this just makes me so cynical, you know?
I think it's more of a consistent stand, and like behind the scenes you're investing money in like good organizations and good nonprofits, and it's like a consistent thing and not just like, oh, haha.
It's holding brands accountable for the things they're doing rather than being like, oh, well, it's a brand, so you can't, like, it's a bunch of people, you can't really control that. It's holding them accountable for like their carbon emissions, for their branding, for their inclusivity, rather than just like, they're not just saying that they're not exempt from the issues that we're dealing with.
So Gen Z expects brands to take a stand in areas that make sense for the business, but consistency is important. There was an entire conversation about frustration over Pride Month because they felt like brands were checking boxes and not really committed. They'd rather a brand not say anything than make a big fuss just one day a year. Go for quality over quantity. It's better to pick one issue and do it right rather than have a voice on many issues and risk missing the mark. Understand that brands will lose all goodwill brownie points if a skeleton is found in their closet. And don't think you can hide surface level tactics from Gen Z. BS will be sniffed out through online research. What that means is that you need to be authentic about what you support and consistently support it. Monitor for negative news stories and social chatter to catch any concerns early and make authentic change. And realize that simply making a donation no longer checks the good behavior box. How brands treat customers and employees is all considered fair game for Gen Z scrutiny. No one said marketing to Gen Z would be easy. They have high expectations and they're adept at finding other solutions if your brand isn't cutting it for them. But the things that they want from you do tend to be good for business, so evaluating how you measure up isn't a bad thing. Just remember the basics. Be good, be real, and be consistent. Next up in our Gen Z Reframe series, we'll dive into some of the latest trends in social media and influencers and how they fit into Gen Z's information ecosystem. Stay tuned to find out more, and don't forget to put questions in the comments so we can answer them in an upcoming Q&A event. See you soon.